Shalom Aleichem to everybody. As we're approaching Rosh Hashana, a few days away now, sitting here in my office in Eretz Yisrael, getting ready for my flight tomorrow morning to America to spend Yom Narayim in New York, New Jersey area. Hope to get to see a number of you over the course of the next week. Difficult to leave Eretz Yisrael now, but hope to come back soon and hope that the tefillas all around the world, by all the Baalei Tefillah and all the Mispalim throughout Klal Yisrael, should make its way straight up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we should all have a Ksiv of Chasima Tova. One short thought. There's so much to say about Tkiyah Shofar and what it's all about and what message it has, and possibly there's a message for everyone in their own way. On this point that I'm about to talk about, the fact that there's no words, and it's the wordless sounds of the shofar that make its way up and emanate out of each and every person. Each person their own language and their own way of expression to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from us. One short thought, again, very difficult to really capsulize everything about the shofar into one short thought, but one idea I heard on a recording from Shlomo Freifeld Zatzal, the Rabbi Zatzal, talking about the kayach of the shofar and recreation of a person. Very briefly, Rosh Hashana being Hayom Aras Olam, the creation of the human being, the sixth day of creation when Adam Rishon was created, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu put into every person the kayach of recreation. Just like Hashem created the world from nothing, so too every human being has the ability to recreate himself and to get back to a point before the chatayim that he did, and to start fresh and to wipe everything clean, so to speak, not in a magic way, but rather to recreate and to give himself a chance to undo. The world was created only after tshuva was created, because tshuva is the yesod. It gives us the ability to carry on and not to take an attitude that we've made a mistake and it's too late, but rather a person could always start over again, just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mechadesh b'tuva b'chol yom tamid. That's the day of Rosh Hashana, to recreate, to reconnect, and the kayach of the shofar is for a person to reconnect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, just like Hashem blew into each person a nishmas chayim. These are the words of the Maral, Rav Hutner Zatzal. So too, we through the shofar are trying to express the same sentiment and the same feeling, to want to recreate ourselves and to take that kayach of starting fresh and to put it into our own lives. But the Rabbi Zatzal spoke about the shofar being a sound that doesn't have words, and he spoke just very bekitzer about the idea that language is the kayach of every nation, and when a language falls apart and when we start using words that are not profound and not intellectual and that are cheap, that's the beginning of the destruction of the kayach of a human being, because we know, as the Maral tells us, that the definition of a man, of Adam, is the ability to speak. The Onkelos in Parshas Bereishis, Vayihi Adam lenefesh chaya leruach memala. The kayach hadibur was the defining reality of the fusion of the guf and neshama of a human being. And therefore, the expression of words is really the definition of a person. But there's speech that's higher than words, and that's words that sounds without words, because that's the purest sense of an expression, where it cannot even be put into the physical capsule of words. And that's on a higher level. The Maral really says this idea very briefly in Az Yashir. The Maral, in discussing the words of Az Yashir, say that Simcha starts in a person's lave. And when a person's in a state of Simcha, then the expression comes out of his lave, and the Maral uses words like it bypasses the Seichel and comes straight out. And that's what Shira is versus speaking. Speech is a thought that's basically transferred within a person's mind, and it's processed and comes out in words. And Simcha and Shira is when a person allows his lave to directly express what's deeply rooted, and it's more spiritual. It's not as physical, because it's not being capsulized and it's not being put into the body of words. And therefore sounds are in a deeper, higher, more spiritual, ruchniistic level than speech. And the kayach of the shofar is to do that as well. We're recreating ourselves back to that point of before Adam was created. We're going back to the nekuda of the time of tshuva. We're starting fresh again. Hashem created Adam by blowing into him in nishmas chayim, and after that he became a speaking person. So we blow the shofar, which is a wordless sound, to get back to that point of recreating the human being before he became a human being, with the kayach of speech of words, and to use the kayach of sounds, which is on a higher, deeper level. I understand that I'm going very quick on some very, very deep thoughts, but just a final idea of this of this concept. When we blow the shofar, anyone that knows how to blow the shofar, which I don't, but it's not about blowing air like this, but rather it's closing the mouth and bringing out the koyach from deep down within a person. It's not blowing into the shofar. If you blow into the shofar, it won't come out, the sound won't come out. Your lips are tightly closed around the shofar, and you're bringing out the koyachs that are rooted deep within the person. L'chayr, it's the same idea. It's the koyach of the shofar. It's not about the lips. It's not about the koyach hadibur. It's not about the expression on the physical level of the human being, but rather it's the panemius of what's coming out deeply within each and every person, the cheshik that the person has to do the Ratzon Hashem and to bring out what he deeply, deeply has within him on a ruchnistic level. And that's the message of the sound of the shofar, coming, blown out of the depths of a human being, not in speech, but through that idea, recreating ourselves back to the state of Adam Rishon before Chet. This is the message that we're trying to give over to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As we stand there, we're standing in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, wanting to tap in to that connection we have to you, Hashem. You gave us the koyach of Chiddush. You gave us that koyach of being able to create just like you create. And we want to recreate ourselves that way, to bring ourselves back to the point of Adam Rishon Kadem Achet, to the world in its new, fresh form, and to restart our own lives, not by forgetting the past, but by recreating everything and learning from the mistakes we've made, and to continue on from this point into the Aseres Tshuva. This is the message, this is the hope that we have when we stand in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu on Rosh Hashana. And we all, Mitzvah Hashem, we should daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Melech HaKol HaOlam, that He should be Mekadosh Yisrael, and He should give us all that recognition that we're connected to a higher source than just living here in this world, through the koyach of the shofar that we all will bring out from the essence of our tefillah and the tkiyah shofar, the koil shofar and the cheshek and the she'ifa that lies within each person, deep within his essence, should make its way directly up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and should grant us all ksiva v'chasim atayva, filled with bracha and atzlach in everything we do. Look forward to seeing as many of you as possible over the course of the next week or two, and it should be a good gebench to for everybody.